An average of 20% of coal produced is waste and has to be dumped, and at present the miners are bringing to the surface approximately 7.5 million tonnes of raw coal per annum from West Cliff and Appin West mines, of which 2.1 million tonnes per annum is stored in the emplacement area. West Cliff and Appin West are situated near the townships of Appin in Wallandilly Shire Council. The arrow indicates where Brennens Creek flowed prior to the commencement of the emplacement area. The miners needed to store water, and at the outset of mining, Brennens Creek was dammed near the confluence of the creek and the Georges River. Stage 1 was approved in the late 1970s, at the time when pillar and post mining was in use, and there was very little damage to the environment above the workings. Stage 2 followed once the first stage was full, but as this area filled, the miners realised they could place another layer over the top of the original one. Longwall mining commenced during this time. Stage 3 has now been almost cleared in readiness for further dumping of coal waste. This area is larger and deeper than the combined size of Stage 1 and 2. Approval is now being sought for Stage 4. The area will be up to 88 metres deep from the bottom of the original creek line. One of the original Aboriginal sites on Stage 2 was covered with material and hundreds of tonnes of waste dumped on top. Since the early 2000s, waste has been incorporated into West Cliff from the huge Dendrobium colliery in the Illawarra, which is more than the collective waste of West Cliff and Appin mines. In 2002, when the film of Stage 2 was taken, the coal wash was still well below the side of the gorge. The original concept was to finish at the level shown on the screen, but with subsequent fillings there is now a hill well above the plateau. Dendrobium mine produces more waste because of the poorer quality of the coal seam, and unfortunately for our region there appears nowhere to dump this reject in the Illawarra. Once an area is completely filled, it is covered with soil from the immediate area. Stage 1 was not very successful, but there has been an improvement in the rehabilitation as their knowledge has increased. However, this does not bring back the original quality of the gorge, and the creek bed is lost forever. Another Aboriginal site was protected by an amphitheatre so that the life of Stage 2 could be extended. Rehabilitation has been introduced to this area, but will take many years for this to firmly establish, and yet again will not reproduce the gorge or the creek line. And it is clear that the amphitheatre is well below the coal wash height, creating a new microclimate that may endanger the sensitive Aboriginal site. The mine site and emplacement area is clearly visible on Google Earth, and from Brennens Creek Dam to the beginning of the creek is 4.2 kilometres long. The majority of the gorge will be destroyed and replaced by a mountain of reject coal and a man-made channel running around the perimeter of the emplacement. Once again, good quality bush has been cleared for Stage 3. All life destroyed, including one Australian-wide threatened species, the broad-headed snake. Even after visits to the area, it was hard to visualise the amount of clearing that would have to be undertaken. The Dendrobium mine was allowed to go ahead with the proviso that PHP investigate the placement of coal wash underground, or its possibilities for other uses, rather than just dumping it at West Cliff. To date, dumping is still considered the only viable option considered by the mining company, although funds have been used for research into other options. In 2005, Stage 3 of the emplacement was still good quality bushland, and most people did not think the area would be required for emplacement in such a short time. The diversion channel for Stage 2 had been made. Only 50% of Stage 2 had been utilised. Appin Area Community Working Group has had several visits to the emplacement area and has always been allowed to take photographs, but this is no longer allowed. This is the last piece of film that was taken on a site visit to Stage 3 and shows the latest part of this diversion channel. It is easier to see the area from a plane than when driving along the Appin Bulli Road. It can be seen that the rehabilitation of Stage 1 was not successful. Stage 2 now complete with rehabilitation commenced. Brennens Creek diversion channel for Stage 3 can easily be seen along with the 4 temporary retention basins, which will be filled in along with the valley sides as the reject coal is stored. The centre between the channel will be filled and become a hill, and water from the surrounding bushland along with that on the emplacement will run into a man-made channel on top of the existing plateau. The height will be approximately 50 metres from the valley floor to the complete mound. The proposed Stage 4, which is part of the Bulli seam operation, will overrun another tributary of Brennens Creek. Although smaller in square kilometres than Stage 3 fillings, will be up to a height of 88 metres, the equivalent of a 30-storey building, and will start filling the Brennens Creek Dam, as 16% of the dam will be lost. Pollution from the mine site and loss of water into the Georges River is an ongoing concern to many people. Salinity in the river does not seem to be of great concern to the government. Children still swim in the river at Appin, but do their parents know what, if any, chemicals are in the water?